Was Shimo the original Alpha Titan before Godzilla? And was she the Titan that Godzilla defeated in order to become the new leader? For weeks now, we have been discussing just how supremely powerful Shimo is, and how she is one of, if not the single Titan who can stand up to Godzilla in a one-on-one combat scenario. We have covered extensively just how widespread Shimo's power is, how she started the Ice Age, and how Godzilla fears her above all other Titans. But now we are left to wonder if she was actually the head of the Titan community before Godzilla ever was, and if it was Shimo that Godzilla defeated to become the Alpha. So today, Heralds of the Titans, let's get straight into the theory. We know that Shimo was described as being an ancient Titan from the very dawn of life on the planet Earth. Several sources even call her one of the oldest Titans currently known in the Monsterverse, and was even misreported that Shimo could have been the mother of the Titans as a concept for the film. While the detail is unfortunately not true, it shows that Shimo's age was a massive factor in her development before she made her eventual debut, and we are left to wonder why it's so vital that Shimo is as old as she is. Since Godzilla is only about 250 million years old, it stands to reason that there would have been a reigning Alpha who all of the other Titans looked to before him. But until now, there haven't been any candidates for who this previous Alpha was. In the New Empire, it is confirmed that Shimo was responsible for the Ice Age following the Pleistocene epoch, which began around 2.6 million years ago. It didn't end until around 11,000 years ago. This theory would mean that Shimo deliberately started the Ice Age from the rank of a reigning Alpha, and that Shimo started the Ice Age as an act of defiance not against Godzilla, but because she was the one calling the shots as the Alpha. Shimo could have made this decision simply because she was in charge, and it may have been because she wanted to create a world more comfortable for herself, not necessarily for the other Titans under her purview. After all, being the Alpha of the Titan community doesn't automatically mean that Shimo would have felt the same sense of obligation or responsibility to the Titans that Godzilla has in his pursuit to maintain balance. And it's possible Shimo began the Ice Age to let other Ice Titans like herself flourish without the conflict and chaos of so many other species. They may have respected her, but this respect may not have been reciprocated at this point in the timeline. If several different Titan species were on the verge of extinction though, then someone may have finally stood up to Shimo and challenged her for the role of the Alpha. Now we have direct confirmation that at some point in the distant past, Shimo and Godzilla did in fact have a fight, and we have a few clues regarding how this fight went. We don't know exactly when or where this battle took place, but the cave painting found in Godzilla King of the Monsters does depict Godzilla facing off against Shimo, and until now, we believe that he was putting her in her place for defying his rule as the Alpha. The general assumption was that Shimo's Ice Age upset the balance of power, and that much is very true. But we also believe that Godzilla's role as the Alpha meant that he was obligated to step in order to restore the balance. But now, we're not sure about the second half. We know that the battle ended up with both parties, Shimo and Godzilla, being able to walk away, which means that someone let the other live. Or they both stopped and fought at a stalemate. Given the amount of dedication and preparation Godzilla gave towards preparing for his second matchup with Shimo, it is apparent that he regards her as a significant threat that is not to be taken lightly. Dr. Andrews even notes that the cave painting was drawn with a deliberate look of fear plastered across Godzilla's face, and so we know that Shimo, even back then, put fear in Godzilla. Therefore, we are led to believe that it was actually Shimo who gave Godzilla a run for his money, and was likely the only Titan that could have beaten him at that point. It's pertinent to acknowledge just how much Godzilla has grown in power since this encounter. Every atomic weapon, human-based radiation source, and power-up we've seen with Godzilla has happened in the modern age of humanity and armaments. This drastically augmented Godzilla's power level to a scale that we've never seen him at before. In the ancient world, Godzilla didn't have the same level of access to these massive sources of incredibly potent energy that we're aware of, and was a far cry from his now evolved state. So then, how did Godzilla win this encounter with Shimo? And moreover, why was Shimo allowed to live if she was such a major threat to the new Alpha? Surely if Godzilla did manage to beat Shimo, he would kill her in order to solidify his rank. Is it therefore possible that it was Shimo that conceded the crown of the Alpha after being impressed by Godzilla's fight, and that Shimo willingly surrendered the rank of Alpha since she simply didn't want to be in charge of the planet anymore? Shimo is regarded as a peaceful titan, but not in the case that she cares about all life or wants to protect all people, but more so in the sense that she just wants to be left alone. So if so many titans were bothered by Shimo, or they were bothering her, fighting with her, entering her territory, and questioning her, she may have elected to start an ice age for just that reason, to be left alone until she inadvertently found a successor. From here, Godzilla may have actually lost this battle, but nobody in the Titan world would have known, and Shimo could have quietly retreated into the Hollow Earth, where the rest of the Titans would believe that she had died. This would mean that it would pass not just the title down to Godzilla, but would have earned him immediate respect from the Titan Kingdom. After all, in a Titan's mind, this is the individual who conquered Shimo, the harbinger of the Ice Age, and one of the original Alphas. If he could do this, then it's reasonable to believe that no Titan would have challenged the rule of the new king. Secondly, this would have allowed Shimo her one wish, to be left alone in the caverns of the Hollow Earth. But the beginning of this fight wouldn't have been prearranged. We believe that as the two titans clashed, Godzilla was intent on killing Shimo, and Shimo would have had no problem killing Godzilla. This is why Godzilla fears Shimo so passionately, and why he went through such great lengths to prepare for her return, because he has seen exactly what she can do. It's not until Godzilla impresses Shimo, however, that the idea is formed to falsify Godzilla's victory, crown him the Alpha, and allow him to assume the responsibility that Shimo did not want. Godzilla could rule the world as long as everyone else now brings their problems to him, and he is the one responsible for policing the Titan community. The role is his, but so too are the fights, the wars, the leadership, and the responsibility that comes with being the most respected member of an entire ecosystem. From here, Godzilla would have gone on to fight King Ghidorah, who we know thanks to the timeline arrived on Earth when there were around 2,000 years left in the Ice Age, and we know that it was Shimo's weather conditions that caused him to be frozen over thanks to the novelization for the film. For more on that though, be sure to check out our video on how Shimo was able to freeze Ghidorah and actually did so by accident. As the Ice Age continued to thaw though, so did emerge the dawn of a new era, the Age of Godzilla. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this theory? Was Shimo the original Alpha Titan before Godzilla? And did Godzilla usurp Shimo of her crown? And if so, was it a legitimate victory? Or was the entire thing arranged by Shimo and Godzilla? Meaning that Godzilla's leadership could be in question. What are your thoughts on our theory on where the Monsterverse could go? And as always, atomic blast that subscribe button and have a phenomenal day.